in what we call the parable of the talents in Matthew 25. Jesus said the master entrusted his possessions to his slaves while he went on a journey, and he gave to them each according to his own ability. According to their ability to do what? To hold on to the talent? Nope. The expectation was that they would do something with what they had been given. And if that were not the case, when the master returned from his journey, why did he call the slave who hid his talent wicked and lazy? And why did he reward the ones who had put their talents to use and gained more? Because the expectation was that they would do something with what they had been given. And that same thing is true for us today. God has given each of us a gift according to our ability. And his expectation is that we will fulfill the purpose for which that gift has been given. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 11, referring to the gifts of the Spirit, says this: "But one and the same Spirit works all these things, distributing to each one individually just as he wills." And in Ephesians chapter 4, I'm going to jump around a little bit, but read the whole thing in your own time. Chapter 4, verse 8 says that when Jesus ascended, he gave gifts to men. And then verse 11 lists some of those gifts. And then listen to verses 12 and 13, because these verses tell us the purpose of those gifts. "For the equipping of the saints for the work of service, to the building up of the body of Christ, until we all attain to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to a mature man, to the measure of the stature which belongs to the fullness of Christ." Stewardship is managing someone else's things, their property, their finances, etc. So we must first recognize that the gifts that we have been entrusted with are not ours. They don't belong to us. They belong to God. They are the gifts of the Spirit, not the gifts of Karen. And then we have to recognize that these gifts have been entrusted to us according to God's will and according to our ability. The expectation is that we use them for his glory. And I'm going to end with 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. "As each one has received a special gift, employ it in serving one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God."